Okay, so today's video is directed at those of you shopping with a budget of about 100,000 ringgit thereabouts or slightly below. Now, if you're looking for a practical mode of transport for that money, well, this video isn't exactly for you. But in this two-parter series, I will be showing you not one, but two radically different options at the same budget for a mid-engine two-seater sports car, right? So, of course, at this budget, you are not looking at anything new. You're looking at something relatively aged, and you're not even looking at something very fast at all. Okay, so when we say sports car, it's kind of stretching the definition a bit, but it is two-seater, it is mid-engine, it is rear-view drive, and most importantly, both choices of cars that I'm showing you give you the option of opening up the roof. All right, so the first of the two cars I'm showing you is this, a Honda S660. Now, the S660 isn't exactly a convertible, it's more of a Targa type, right? So you can see here, and also it is small, okay? It is powered by a 660cc engine. So it is the same engine size as a Pro Dual Kancil. But because it's a Honda, because it is a two-seater sports car, this thing isn't exactly cheap. This unit that we see here, this is a 2017 car, and it is being listed here at about 108,000 ringgit. So cheap, it is not, but it is still new enough that it qualifies for financing. And well, let's say today you buy it at 108,000 ringgit, chances are down the road this car will still hold its value relatively well. And once again, before you comment, hey, Con, this car is too expensive, 108,000 ringgit is too expensive. Let me give you a tip when it comes to buying a used car. Whatever that is listed is a suggestion. All right, if you're really interested, come, put an offer on the table and test this owner's resolve. Put a fair offer which you think that is commensurate with your valuation of the car's price, and see whether the owner bites or not. Okay, so that's a quick tip. If let's say like whatever that is listed there, and it's not, you think that's too expensive, any used car for that matter, make an offer and see whether the seller counters you or accepts or not. Okay, but at the end of the day, used car buying, it's a willing buyer, willing seller process. So what is listed here, 108,000 ringgit, but you are always most welcome to view the car and put an offer that you deem is reasonable, and leave it to the seller to decide whether he or she is taking up the offer or not. So in terms of practicality, the S660, well, this is, you cannot compare this with a Civic or a City or a HRV kind of thing, all right? This is purely a car built for fun, and this cannot be your only car. Means that this is a car that you only buy if you really have that 100,000 ringgit lying around that you can use for a fun car, a toy car, right? And that 100,000 ringgit is something that if you spend it, it doesn't affect your lifestyle, it doesn't affect your finances, it doesn't put you on the risk of bankruptcy or financial ruin, right? So definitely I will not recommend you to buy this car if, let's say, like, you know, you are barely scraping it together just to afford the monthly installments of this car, right? This is a car that you buy really only as an excess. And let me show you why this car is outright not fit to be used as a daily car. It is not. All right, this is really something you buy as a weekend toy. Let me show you why. So as I said, this is a mid-engine car. So the engine is here. There's no space here for any form of luggage. So it means that luggage would definitely have to go at the front, right? Look at this. Under the bonnet. There is no space here to put anything at all right? So here you can see this is a storage box. So if you open this lid, okay, you have access to this space here, and this is actually detachable. So there are three screws down here. So you can remove this whole thing up. So you can see here, right? Okay, this is the brake master cylinder, the brake fluid reservoir. Okay, the wiper mechanism here is also very, very openly visible here. This is the battery, the fuse box, the ABS module. You can see here, steering right, and even down, even though here, right, there's nothing really critical here other than the ABS module here. They have put an undercarriage cover, so which I believe is more for um, aerodynamics than to protect against water damage. So you can see this is a very, very fascinating look inside the frunk of the S660. Now let me just show you inside this box here. Okay, so you can see from the instructions, and I will demonstrate later on. This is where you put the fabric cloth top, and you see under here, you can lift this up. Okay, under here is the jack and also a tire repair kit. So all of it is present here. And this is, of course, feels like very high quality plastics. So you can see here, these are the four lock screws that you can lock and unlock to put this thing back in place. Okay, so these are the holes upon which that box is screwed on or screwed off. Right, so the bonnet opens rearwards. So you can see from here, the engine itself is a very, very compact unit. And here is the air intake. So air comes in from here, goes into this duct and goes into the engine, right? So you can see here, that's the engine oil dipstick. So it is still actually, from a mechanical sense, this is a very, very simple vehicle. And down there, that is the exhaust muffler, right? So yeah, so you can see here, that's the engine, right just in front of the rear axle. Okay, so at this point, you're wondering, how do you open the roof, right? So it's fully manual roof. This cloth roof here is detachable. Now, to open it, the first order of business is to open up this latch. And then on either side, right, there is this one where you need to release, right? So pull this here and you turn this lever down. Same thing here, all right? So right now, the roof is detached. So once you open both sides of the roof, all you have to do is just roll this up, roll this side as well. Take this whole thing down. So with the roof down, you can get more light into the cabin. Let's get inside. Right. So the design, the layout, I will have to say this is very, very in line, in theme with what we see in this generation of Hondas, notably the likes of the Civic FD, Civic FB, the Honda City GM6, right? So it has that sort of like slightly futuristic theme to it. This sort of like driver oriented setup here. Okay, so yes, it's actually a very analog cabin, but the way Honda designed the graphics, look at this, right? As I press the engine start button, but without switching the engine on, look at the instrument cluster as we start up. Ooh, right? So you can see that, of course, the displays are monochromatic displays, but the way it is arranged, all right, it was like Honda at that time, they already decided that they wanted to be a bit more futuristic in their look. And As a result, look at this. This is the same kind of theme that we see at that time, remember, with the Civic FD. Okay, so you can see here, there's also a sport button. You press this, wow, the instrument cluster turn red. Look at that, right? So it's actually it's not a sophisticated cluster in terms of the hardware used, but it is very, very slick looking for its time, right? Now, over here, a very simple climate control setup. Okay, I'm going to off this so as to not consume the battery. Well, so that max it down really. All right. So you can see there's a single blower here. All right, single zone climate control, which can control fan speed, temperature. Right, and of course down here. Now, even though this is a sports car, a K sports car, but Honda has not neglected on the practicality. Look at this. This is big enough for you to slide your smartphone in, okay? And they have put in, at the time still got aux lah, USB port, and a 12-volt socket. Okay, of course, also this switch gear here also very, very, very familiar with Hondas of that era. So they also did not miss out on the opportunity to maximize on the storage space here. So you can see here there's a slot, which in the Malaysian context is a perfect place for you to drop your smart tag. Okay, there's a little tray here. Okay, now may not be that useful today, and of course here there is a cup holder and there's a little hook here as well for you to hang your stuff. So this owner has also taken the liberty of installing a dash cam here and also here at the front. So let's look at the glove box inside here. Not very big, not very big, but well, can store some small items. So you can see here, right, in terms of storage space, it is very, very limited. Okay, now, of course, when you talk about storage space, S660 really cannot compare with other Hondas that we are used to. But in terms of the space available to the occupants, it's really not bad. So lengthwise, I am good. I'm 170 centimeters tall. Now, I can't tell you how much headroom I have above me with the roof up. But looking at this one, I would say I'll project maybe about 3 or 4 fingers above me. All right. Now, but in terms of the positioning of the pedals versus the seat, and in terms of the driving position, this is actually pretty good. This shows that Honda still, in terms of ergonomics, they where the S660 is concerned, even though yes, they didn't give you space to carry a lot of things, but at the very least, they ensure that you sit here in comfort and all the controls are within quick and easy reach and logic, very easy and logical to understand. So now look at this. There is no the usual micro up and down motion that you typically get with most coupes and convertibles. Honda is really depending on the precise meeting between the glass and the rubber to ensure water does not enter the cabin in a rainy day. And even if it does, they're very cleverly designed in such a way that, okay, so the glass meets the rubber here, any water that seeps through, okay, is caught by the drainage and it gets dispersed the other way. All right. So, but I will suspect, nevertheless, that these rubber parts could be potential wear and tear items that you may want to take care of. But overall, I would say that it is nevertheless a very clever and elegant design on Honda's part to build the car this way. Okay, so the S660 here, this is not a car that is practical at all. This is really strictly a car you buy as a toy. A car that you buy, well, really for weekend use. Okay, maybe town drive if you want, but definitely not something you buy to fetch the kids. Not something you buy to go and grab groceries or even go on a day trip anywhere, because there literally is no space in the car for anything other than 2 occupants, and that's it. All right. But the plus point about buying this car is that there is that cuteness factor to it. Okay, this car does have its following, it does have its fans, and in terms of value retention, well, you can't beat a Honda, you can't beat a mid-engine sports car, right? So let's say like today at 100,000 ringgit, okay, you buy this car today, and chances are 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road, what's the worst case scenario? You sell it for 80,000 ringgit, 90,000 ringgit, okay? If let's say you are not desperate, you may even be able to sell it for the same price that you bought the car for. So the good point, the strong point of this car really is its value retention. And of course, well, in terms of performance, don't expect much from it, okay? It's just a 660cc car, but the flip side of it is that maintenance is likely to be cheap. Okay, it's a cheap car to maintain. It's a mechanically simple car, and because it is so light, you can also realistically expect suspension wear to be minimal. You can expect tire wear to be minimal. Brakes also to be very minimal in terms of their wear. So, from an economic standpoint, this is a car that yeah, it won't depreciate a lot. It won't cost a lot to run. Okay, but well, it will offer you that fun factor. But for the same amount of money, if you want a bit more poke, you want a bit more badge value, well, you got to stay tuned for part two, where for the same amount of money, you can also consider a Porsche 987 Boxster that is, once again, also mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, two-seater, and also a convertible. All right, so if you are interested to check out the S660 that I videoed earlier, or you want to check out this Porsche Boxster, well, fill in the form in the description section below. My team will be in touch. Or if you have got a car that you want to sell and you want to get back the best possible value, also fill in the form in the description section below, and my team will be in touch to see how we can assist you. All right, so until my next video, take care, stay safe, and wait for this one. Cheers.